Greetings fellow travellers and welcome to the city of Dundee, the fourth largest in Scotland. Ella has come up here to work for a couple of weeks, so I thought I would come up, visit her and also explore the city of Dundee.
And let's get straight into it from the main viewpoint overlooking the city.
So we have come to the top, the highest point in Dundee, Dundee Law.
Dundee Law is a hill in the middle of the city, and it is also the city's highest point with an elevation of 174 metres. The Law is what remains of volcanic activity in the area from 400 million years ago. The War Memorial at the top is the most noticeable feature of the skyline, and from the top you get fantastic panoramic views of the city below and also the River Tay. Looking to the left at the top of the Law, you will catch sight of the two football stadiums in the city, the homes of Dundee and Dundee United, and that is where our next stop takes us. The two stadiums are separated by just 200 yards in distance, the closest of any professional football teams in the UK. Down at ground level, I am walking outside Dundee FC's ground, which is called Dens Park. And just to show you how close Dundee United's ground is, Tannadice, I'm going to walk around the corner here and just show you both the stadiums stood basically right next to each other, and the second closest in the world after two football teams in Malmo in Sweden. Right now I am stood outside Dundee United's football ground, Tannadice, and if you look across the grass, that's Dens Park. You can see how close they are to each other. Just a little bit of grass separating both grounds. You can see behind me the sign, "Welcome to Dundee United." Now we've seen the stadiums, it's time to head into town and meet up with Ella again. Might be the end of April, but it is absolutely Baltic here. 7-8 degrees, I've got my hat and gloves on, but we're going to explore Dundee. Heading straight for the waterfront now. A couple of big attractions, RRS Discovery and the V&A Design Museum. So you can see the boat behind me, it is called RRS Discovery and it is a famous boat in these parts. It was used in an expedition to Antarctica in 1901 to 1904 by Robert Falcon Scott and Ernest Shackleton. Hence you can see in Dundee that there are little statues of penguins. The penguins are outside the museum, so if you want to explore, learn a bit more about maritime history and the polar expedition, this is the place to go, the Royal Research Ship Discovery Museum. Right next to the ship, the architecturally impressive V&A Museum sits on the banks of the River Tay. This museum is a branch of the renowned Victorian Albert Museum in London. The museum focuses on design and innovation. Somebody's come prepared to come to the sunniest city in Scotland.
Are you talking about me or yourself? Because you're fully wrapped.
No, I'm talking about you with your sunglasses on.
Oh yes, like, come on, at least give me one day.
But where's the sun?
In front of us.
I see a cloud, I see a nice long bridge over the River Tay.
I think it will be raining in a second.
But there ain't no sunshine. We are currently stood outside the V&A Museum. This is a design museum, free of charge, so we're going to have a quick look inside, see what it's all about. Are you excited?
Yep.
Got all these funky little panels and then little openings for windows. Views of the River Tay. One of the museum exhibits that impressed me was a unique handicraft collection of tapestries which told the story of Dundee's past, present and future. The stitching was done by over 140 volunteer stitchers from Dundee and the surrounding area, and what a job they did. The tapestries explored Dundee's industrial heritage, creative achievements and the people. I was quite shocked and impressed to discover that the man who voiced Mickey Mouse, the actress who plays Cho Chang in the Harry Potter films, and the band Snow Patrol are all from Dundee. My favourite tapestry, however, brought back childhood memories as I discovered most of my favourite comics as a child were created in Dundee. Next door there was a pretty cool photography exhibit linked with some videography, where I discovered that many of the developers who worked on the early Grand Theft Auto games were based in Dundee, and they drew inspiration from their surroundings when creating the game world.
Be open to the joy you deserve. We have stepped outside of the V&A Museum. There is a balcony where you can overlook the River Tay and this long bridge to cross it. What are your thoughts on the V&A Museum?
Yeah, really cool.
The Design Museum? It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. What were your favourite parts?
Photography.
The photography exhibition? Yeah,
Definitely, yeah, some great photos there.
yeah.
It's not many people know that many computer games were created in Dundee. I didn't know. GTA, it's coming from here. GTA was created here in Dundee. Same Lemmings, SimCity. Actually, there is exhibition, and SimCity is included. Yeah, that's quite, I would say, surprising. Like not Silicon Valley, not Austin, Texas, not anywhere else in Europe. Yeah, Dundee, Scottish Dundee.
Some good childhood memories
Yeah.
and some good adult ones as well.
We finished looking around the V&A Museum, then we decided to wander further into the town centre. We saw more penguins and heard that sometimes the statues are dressed up depending on various celebrations during the year, such as Christmas or graduation. Despite us seeing Dundee on a Sunday, the streets around the town centre were mainly empty, a worrying sign of the times on the UK High Street.
Just spotted something really cool in front of me. Remember the comics that I was on about before? I just found a statue of Desperate Dan in the middle of Dundee town centre.
Well, in front be how might be Dundee. How I live on the hill, white from the road. It's a load
It's Mini Minx.
We were aware of another comic book statue in town, so we went on a search for it, and it wasn't long until we found it.
So you can see behind me this beautiful building and the statue of a famous Scotsman, Robert Burns, the poet. But right next to the building, I've just found a childhood hero of mine. This is Our Wooly, famous Scottish comic. He was created in Dundee. This guy here, this kid, is my childhood. I read his comics every single year. So every Christmas time, I would ask Santa Claus for an annual, a comic for this little kid here, or the Bruins. They used to alternate every year, so one year it was Our Wooly, the next year it was the Bruins. So this kid is famous for always sitting on his bucket. So here we go. Nice to meet you, mate.
Similar to the graffiti on the wall, the words in the comic were written in a Scottish accent, so as an Englishman, I had to learn some of the Scottish words over the years, such as jings or blether, and there was no Google in those days. This beautiful Gothic style building is not actually a church, but is called the McManus, Dundee's art gallery and museum. Entry is free. The building has been a cultural hub in the city since opening in 1867, and the museum offers visitors a chance to explore Dundee's rich heritage and learn about the significance of Dundee in various fields from art to industry. The staff were very helpful and more than happy to help you and point you in the right direction. And while the museum had some lovely artifacts and paintings, there was a room where I spent the most time. This room I was reading about the comics and video games I had played as a child.
Behind us it looks like a church, but it is in fact an art gallery. And we've had a little look inside, and what do we think?
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Worth seeing.
Favourite exhibition?
GTA.
GTA, yeah. It's a little part on comics once again. GTA, Our Wooly, the Bruins, the Beano. Yeah, definitely worth a look.
To finish our sightseeing tour of Dundee, we had a couple more stops, but for both we needed the car to drive a little bit out of the city centre. The first stop was outside the DC Thompson building where comics are printed. We heard that there were murals on the wall and we weren't disappointed. The murals were enormous. It was nice to feel a bit of nostalgia. The second stop took us to the lemming statues.
The guy over me is a lemming. So long time ago, at the beginning of 90s, there was this game was created and was created here in Dundee. I remember when I first time saw it, I was like, I was very little, and I was already mesmerized by lemmings. I didn't play them, because I was too young, but it was like, something just wow. Yeah, they created this statue to remember that this game was created in Dundee.
So that was my day in Dundee. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I was pleasantly surprised that a lot of my good childhood memories were created in Dundee. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. The next video will showcase my day spent in Edinburgh. And if you're ever in Scotland, don't forget to try this drink, Iron Brew. You won't be disappointed. They even make them in sweets, which are also amazing. Sadly, the sweets were eaten before the making of this video.